Hello. So this module we've been asked to discuss boundaries and which boundaries we feel are most important and also the boundaries that we are most anxious about crossing or dealing with in our sessions with our clients. For me, boundaries that I feel are important is the initial um, contact and what has to do with privacy and confidentiality and discussing certain time frames that clients should meet with counselors and also anything that has to do with payment if it's involved, as well as coming up and establishing a plan A or B when it's just in case, for instance, something I'm not able to meet with this person, they're able to meet with someone else. Those things are all important so that the client will have an understanding of what's expected and what is, acceptable. Also, um, things that I'm most concerned about are self-disclosure, ethical decision making, personal contact, and gift giving. So, just to give a few comments on two of the things that I think kind of go hand in hand, well, three that kind of go hand in hand. That's self-disclosure, gift giving, and making physical contact. So, just to begin with, self-disclosure I'm most anxious about because sometimes I feel that me as a counselor, and I'm pretty sure many of you want to be able to connect with the client. And in many cases, we have to decide what's too much and what's just enough and what's most relative. And I like what the text says about making sure that it's going to benefit the client. Never in a session do I want to take the spotlight off of the client so that I end up telling my own problems or issues, and then that self-disclosure moment has become into a counseling session for myself, and then the roles have been reversed. I never want that to be the case. So to um, avoid doing that, and I've already started practicing this with my students that I've seen, I will make sure that one, like the book says, me sharing this is going to benefit the client. It's not going to cause harm, right? And number two, I make sure that it's going to be relating to the issue. I also have to make sure that it's not something that I'm currently experiencing, because if I'm currently experiencing it or if I'm not fully, healed or going through whatever it is, it could be something simple like I broke my nail. Oh my God, I broke my nail. And da da da. I could go on a total rant about me breaking my nail because I'm still feeling it at the moment. I'm still, touched by it. And I know that's a very small example, but just to kind of show you how something that small could lead off into something else, you want to make sure that self disclosure is important and it's relatable, and most importantly, it's going to benefit the client. So, in saying that, I think that I am, anticipating doing that, and I'm going to be on the lookout, making sure that I am doing that to the appropriateness and as far as the profession is concerned. Another issue or boundary that I'm most concerned about is gift giving and receiving, because this has happened to me in my practicum experience where I self-disclosed to a client at the end of a session where we're wrapping up that, the weekend's coming. I hope you guys enjoy the weekend. Yeah, my birthday's coming up. And when I said that, for not even thinking about this person owns a flower shop, they immediately said, "Oh, well, we're gonna bring you flowers. We're gonna bring you flowers. We're gonna, bring them here, and we want to thank you for what you've done." And I insisted, that wasn't necessary, but I didn't like make them feel bad or deliberately tell them like in an ugly way, "No, I can never accept it." I just thanked them and I said, "Well, you don't have to do that." And once they left, I told my supervisor, whom I was doing my practicum internship under, and I told some of the coworkers, people, some of the other senior counselors there, and they described, "Well, we don't take gifts, but I've had students do that to me in the past," and so they explained to me how to handle it and what the procedure was. So I, now that I've experienced that and I've had it, I'm still kind of anxious about it because thankfully for this particular experience, they were just, being having a nice gesture. They wanted to say thank you for what I've done as far as helping them with the issue that they had at the time. And they genuinely just wanted to show me their appreciation. After that, there was nothing else. I never saw that client again. I'm assuming that they're doing well because I haven't made contact. But that's just one example of how self disclosure, or even just enough or even too much, can lead to other things. So I feel like that's something that I'm going to be cautious about, and I definitely want to know how to handle that in a way that the people or the profession that I'm working under, facility that I'm working in, I want to make sure I'm following the instructions about how they would do that. So for me, how I'll go about correcting it is to first, let them know in the beginning, during the times that we first meet, talk about times and dates and payment, about gifts. So I would cover that then. And then to also further cover myself is if someone were to offer me a gift before I receive it, I need to go ahead and, make sure one that their intent behind it is not something that's not pure and it's not something that's going to try to, they're trying to look for something else or gain something in return. But I will also let my superiors know to get some consultation about, what's the right thing to do in that particular instance. Um, Another thing that I find that I'm going to be most probably concerned about is making physical contact because, in my culture, we touch sometimes on the hands. I might give you a pat on the back. It might be a nice thing to give someone a hug as they're leaving. I'm anxious about that because sometimes I do it without even knowing. It's involuntary. You just do what you feel. So I'm nervous about that, and I don't want that to be a hindrance when it comes to me meeting with students or clients because I don't want to come off as offensive to anyone, nor do I want to take what somebody else is doing that they mean well in a sense. So I think that all these things should be covered, like I said in the beginning, sessions when you're meeting with a client. But these are just a few things of what I believe are important, what I'm feeling anxious about, and how I would go about um, addressing it, and how I'm going about to prepare myself for those times. So thank you, and I look forward to hearing your responses.